While we're all waiting for December to roll in and we get a chance to watch the animated feature film that is War of the Rohirrim, perhaps a triumphant return from Warner Bros. After, well, being pretty dormant with the Lord of the Rings franchise. And I'm really hoping that this animated film turns out to be great because I need to remove the bad taste in my mouth after watching that second season of Amazon Prime's War of the Ring. That was awful. I actually did a review for it if you guys want to check it out. Talk extensively about why I had a lot of issues with that show. But there is still high hopes because, besides War of the Rohirrim, Warner Bros. Is doubling down and working on not only one live-action Lord of the Rings movie, but yet another. And it seems that Gandalf, the character, is going to be at the center of these upcoming movies. We actually get an interview with the Lord of the Rings screenwriter Philippa Boyens, who told the Empire that Gandalf could potentially return for both confirmed live-action films. She continues to say that while the beloved wizard will definitely star in the hunt for Gollum, likely with the original actor Ian McKellen, hopefully, nothing is locked in for the second film as of yet. She continues to say, we're playing around with a number of ideas, but most of them do include Gandalf. So Gandalf would potentially return for 2 live-action films. Oof. It gives me this, when I hear this kind of news, it gives me a strong sense of enthusiasm, optimism, and more than anything, nostalgia. Because this is, besides Philippa, we have Andy Serkis, who's going to be directing the movie, who played the role of Gollum as well, and has even assisted in directing the Hobbit films with Peter Jackson. And Peter Jackson himself will be also returning for these productions, but this time not as a director, only as a producer. And I can understand that because, we look at Peter Jackson and, we compare his 2 major trilogies, The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. And when he got involved in The Hobbit and those movies came out, a lot of fans enjoyed it, but they could see that there was noticeable issues. It never lived up to the masterpiece trilogy that is Lord of the Rings. And it's only because there was just so much pressure and strenuous expectation from Peter Jackson. Guillermo del Toro was the one who was supposed to direct the Hobbit movies, but then he left last minute, and then Warner Bros. Had to bring in Peter Jackson again last minute. They had to do the production from scratch. They had to pull out these movies and turn them out at a specific deadline, and the pressure to have to, basically make these movies on the go. And, a lot of people say have issues with the Hobbit movies, but honestly, for what Peter Jackson could have achieved at the time, it's pretty astonishing. And I think I always look back, with a little bit of somberness, because I do feel like the Hobbit trilogy broke Peter Jackson. It made him not want to make movies for a very long time. And 10 years later now, we see him again being involved with the Lord of the Rings franchise, but only as a producer, understandably so. But I think his consultation, his supervision, and having some of the original members who were involved with the original trilogy is a great thing, because this is a team that fully understands how to capture the magic and wonder of Middle-earth. There has not been even an attempt from other production houses like Amazon Prime that even got close to what the Lord of the Rings was able to achieve. So I'm glad that there's a majority of that original team involved. And hopefully Ian McKellen, I know he's 85 years old, but he says that he's open to returning as Gandalf. And he's revealed that he has been asked to reprise that iconic role. So I'm sure he's all thrilled about it. But the story of the hunt for Gollum also involves some other characters. One of them is the Ranger, that is Aragorn. And so that means, could we perhaps have Viggo Mortensen involved in some sort of way? I'm not sure they're going to be able to de-age Viggo, but he could make some appearance, in a futuristic timeline, him kind of reminiscing back in a flashback, and he has an alternate, maybe de-aging. I don't know how they're going to pull it off, but it'd be nice to have Viggo Mortensen involved in this movie because he actually refused to return in an appearance for The Hobbit simply because he was really true to the canon. He says, Aragorn was never in The Hobbit. Why should I be in it? Forget about it. But hopefully this time he might be involved. I love to see him. It would be so much. It would be the perfect kind of opportunity. The sort of you could say the perfect fan service to bring a character like him back. But the Middle Earth franchise is seeming to have more than just these live action movies. There's actually comments about reinvigorating Middle Earth a tad more, with a tad more other interesting little projects on the side. Warner Bros. CEO David Zaslav said, for example, The Lord of the Rings is a largely underused franchise. That I agree with him, that his company is hard at work at fixing. And he says that with even Embracer Group being involved, they said that the company is hoping to exploit Lord of the Rings in a very significant fashion on the video game front. And we haven't heard much about Embracer Group after they purchased the rights for the Middle-earth Enterprise, but I hope that in the years to come we might hear some good things. I know that they're actually collaborating with Amazon Studios to work on that Lord of the Rings MMORPG, which got canceled and then it got brought up again. So there's so much to get excited about when it comes to the Lord of the Rings franchise, hopefully in the near future. And it really just comes down to, you have to have the right team. You have to have the right people involved. You have to have people who love and respect Tolkien's literary work and want to achieve something that will become timeless, And I think that's something that Amazon Prime's Rings of Power has failed to do twice over. Now them hitting almost $1 billion in production, and 2 seasons in, we have 16 hours of television, and that show is absolutely abysmal. But you guys let me know, share your thoughts and opinions. If there were some adaptations, some stories in the world of Middle-earth that you'd love to see get adapted into the live action screen, share your thoughts and opinions. Love to hear from some fellow Lord of the Rings fans out there. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back with more news from the world of entertainment right here on the Evening Buzz.